Please be upstanding for a new recording of Things We Like.
Hello!
Good morrow.
Good morning.
Aloha.
Namaste.
Bienvenue.
Oi to the vein.
Konnichiwa.
Hi again.
Ni hao.
That's
Yeah,
it. That's all
I'll
the
do.
languages. Hey. Morning.
Valar morghulis.
Valar Daharis. This week, I am Jim,
I am Alf.
I'm Andy.
and we will be exploring the realms and environs of Westeros, namely its more outlandish conspiracy theories and fan theories. Conspiracy theories.
And also Essos.
And also Westeros. In fact, the entire world
Just
of Oz.
basically
Yeah.
anything we really fancy talking about Game of Thrones.
Game of
the
Thrones,
books, all the books, all the TV, although we will try and keep spoilers to a
Yeah,
minimum.
some of us haven't read the books.
Because it was a good safety net for us in this, in having somebody who's not read the books in on this to ensure that we don't get
too carried away.
spoiler
But be
Basically-
warned, it's going to be spoilery.
If we feel that they've gone past people that should have appeared yet that haven't, I feel it's fairly free to talk about those characters and
Yeah.
their lack of presence.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There will also have to be some other stuff, but it's also convoluted. It's only theories, so fuck it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm along for the ride.
Shouldn't be too serious about these things. Life
Should
is a
they?
game.
We should take them really seriously.
So
Wait.
where are we going to start?
Well, how about this? What do you think about the fan name Os for the planet that they're on?
The fan name Os.
That's what people refer to it as on the boards, Os.
Os.
That's where
because it's
the
Westeros and Sothos.
Essos.
S, yeah.
Essos.
Northos.
Probably.
Presumably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
Nothos.
Os.
Nothos.
Os.
Planet Os.
Planet
or whatever
It just
it is.
sounds a bit like Oz. And there are wizards as well. I'm a Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz.
A Wizard of Oz.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a little
that's
too
true.
close.
That's true. Fuck it. That's all I have to say.
I like the idea that it's not a planet. I like the idea that it's a giant game board or a big ring or... There's a lot of weird
Well,
theories.
I know it's a really weird kind of orbit for it to have that.
No, because it
It's-
could be
it's
magic.
just
like-
Could be
yeah.
magic.
It could, but as soon as it's magic, then it's not a celestial body, is it? It's not a
No,
planet
it's a
going
planet.
around.
It can easily be a planet going around. There's just that you've got magic having an impact on the weather.
Yeah.
But also, we were chatting about this with a friend who, well, out of our friends, is probably the closest thing we'll get to an expert without emailing people we don't really know. So fuck that shit.
I'm not even sure who this is.
Dave, we chatted to Dave about it because he's doing
I thought you meant an expert on Westeros, right? An
no,
expert
on
on
sciencey stuff.
science.
Or specifically this kind of science. And realistically, that kind of thing, it's like we have massive weather cycles here of like ice ages. Well, what happens if their ice ages were just shortened? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if it was a fairly variable distance of when an ice age occurs, by, you know, for us it could be a variable distance of 10,000 years, say,
To be honest,
but for
yeah,
them
yeah.
it could be 10 years variable distance.
I'd never really thought of it in terms of Ice Age. I'd always assumed that the
It was just a
planet-
natural season.
I always thought of it in terms of a planetary body oscillating in a strange way. But yeah, like an Ice Age, I don't know what
This is-
caused that, but
This is one of the other things that, well, part of the theory stuff. There's the bit in the books. Somebody's had this theory to do with White Walkers and perhaps the relevance of it, but it does say in the book at one point, one of the characters says, well, does it get cold and then the White Walkers appear, or do the White Walkers appear and then it gets cold?
Can God make a stone he cannot lift?
yes, yeah, and the land of always summer is like a contrast. I know that's what the show's about. The
Fire and
contrast
Ice.
of Fire and Ice isn't the really title in it, but you know they're all concerned about the middle ground, aren't they? They're concerned with between the land of always summer and the land of always winter, and what they really should be looking at is outwards in both directions to the Essos, where there's the rising army of Daenerys Targaryen, and all the other big powers that way, and then to the north where you've got the cold and the ice giants. And
It's a weird thing though. Like both of those things though, like at the time that we're seeing it in the books, like however much we as a reader are aware of all this nut shit going on, really most people aren't. Like people just don't believe it.
Yeah,
not even
exactly,
all the
yeah.
members of the Night's Watch have
Oh,
seen.
you mean in context?
Yeah. Not even all the members of the Night's Watch have seen White Walkers.
No, of course not.
And
No.
obviously, fucking not that many. Well, quite a lot of people now, I guess, have seen dragons, but not in Westeros. They fucking haven't. So you're
No.
hearing that
And
there's this
exaggerated
queen
stories
with
as
dragons.
well.
Yeah, exactly. They know it happens all the time.
Well,
So why would you believe it?
The last Skull of the Dragon before the last one. I can't remember where it is. It's got to be in King's Landing. I think it's in the cellar somewhere where there's a huge dragon skull, and they're saying, well, this is imagine how great that creature must have been, and then someone says, well, I saw the last dragon's skull and it was it wasn't much bigger than a human's head. It was tiny. That their age is gone, kind of stuff. Whereas these
So
are
it
big
kind of-
boys.
Well, the White Walkers, they hadn't. Never mind the fact that most of Night Watch now haven't seen them, but in their records, they'd not been seen for several hundred years.
Yeah.
Then, so you're like, okay, now a few have started to see them, but even there's no way. It's too fantastical for some people. Even I guess in a lot of it, you don't really see magic. Like we've seen other forms of magic that fill it in as being a more magical world, like Melisandre and the what are they called, the guys who went after Dany's dragons
Sorcerer guys
with the blue lips.
Tower of Terror.
Oh, I
Fuck
can't remember.
the
Sounds good though, eh? I can't think of what they're called though.
the Tower of Dead Souls. It's something portentous, like fucking the City of the Dead. Oh, fuck.
Well, anyway, there's plenty of other instances of magics that we've seen, but it's again not really commonplace. So it's
Well,
not
with,
particularly a magical world. Like,
Well, is her name Melisandre?
yeah,
Is that correct? Yeah.
the
The Red Gourd, yeah.
Red
Well, even air magic, there's only a few people who witnessed that, and most of it's just it's not that fantastical. Few people saw the smoke monster from Lost murder the Renly Baratheon.
Oh yeah. I'm with you now.
Um,
Yeah, the only person who witnessed it
No one
totally
believes.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Brienne.
Brienne
Oh,
of
like
Tarth.
Catelyn saw it, but she is sort of.
She's gone.
Yeah, she's of no consequence apparently.
Of no consequence to us who watch the telly.
Yeah. Oh, it's the House of the
Read the
Undead.
books. It does.
Well, possibly, but it could eventually become. It could be for some of these things. It could just be that they're giving them a break of a season because there's just too many people. It happened in the books,
Yeah.
and this is just a book later. But in the books, it happened like that, where there was too many people's storylines to contain in one book, so he split it. It could effectively be one season later.
Yeah.
The Greyjoys have to turn back up again en masse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, any particular favourite theories?
Well, how about this one? We'll talk about the Greyjoys.
Yeah.
This one we're in anything for you, dude, because it's a lot of stuff that's been expunged from the series, from the book. But the possibility that Dario Naharis and Euron Greyjoy are
A
like
guy you've not met yet.
In
Oh,
the series.
That's possibly the significance of it as well.
Yeah.
they might be the
You
same.
get a
dude.
reveal. It might. If Euron turns up in this series, like season 5, and it is him, then that's a reveal before the next book. Whereas if Euron doesn't appear, it's still a possibility that in season 6 you could find out that is true. So I don't know, but yeah, that he's possibly Dario Naharis.
There's a lot of like circumstantial evidence.
I like somebody had done a video about it. I can't remember who now. Where they'd said at one point in the video or towards the end that effectively, if they're not the same person, they must be allies.
I think that video was done by Preston Jacobs.
Like, because they seem to have the same goals in mind or whatever. But I mean, that's all extrapolation as well, so possibly not.
What's the doom? Do we know what the doom of Valeria is?
Some kind of
Doom.
magical thing that caused torrents of fire to tear
Still smoulders, doesn't it?
it all asunder. Yeah, they don't
The
really
TV
know.
show, it's
Don't
still
really
smoulders.
know.
It might not have been magical. It might have just been a big volcano. The whole of Valyria was basically built on a big volcano.
That's clever.
Yeah, it's kind of risky manoeuvre.
Yeah, but they like the heat, the Targaryens.
And the dragons
Well,
do.
they're not Targaryens, they're Valerians, but
Yeah.
they like the heat, don't they?
Well, yeah. The first Daenerys had a dream.
They made the stone men be in there, don't they? So that's basically...
Yeah, well,
But
that's,
that's where
like
they were.
that's like the Ice Walkers of the hot places.
They're like their equivalent for the Riel and his fire shit.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I mean,
fire
not
undead
quite, are they,
compared
but-
to...
Yeah.
The fact that when they touch you, they turn you, that's strong shit. Might not be as strong as what the White Walkers do, 'cause you saw that stuff with the baby.
Yeah, but it also takes time, though.
Yeah.
You could potentially live
Just lamp your arm off, mate.
for 5... That's not necessarily going to save me.
Well, no, but I'll give it a go.
For
You could
people
get
who-
maybe 5 years out of it.
For people who aren't up to date with the TV show, a major character was touched by somebody with grayscale, and now they are infected. And they probably should have just cut their arm off.
Nah.
Yeah.
It's such... Nah, because
Yeah.
it's such Jorah, innit? He can't kill himself. That's another cat... There are this... It is a shame they can't stick directly to the books, but they're going in different directions, but it could end up being fairly wildly different, you know. I just feel like maybe some of these characters are going to be more significant that appeared in the books that haven't appeared in the TV yet.
What about the Sparrow? What about the Sparrow possibly being Howland Reed?
I really like that theory. Probably not, though. In the TV series, I don't think so, because he's not small enough, given the descriptions of Howland Reed.
Well, you know.
Yeah, where the fuck is our Howland Reed, though? Never mind the theory, it's just that question.
Oh, do you mean
He's
Howland
the
Reed?
biggest player. He's the biggest player in the game that no one's seen or heard of or had anything to do with.
Oh, do you mean the Howland Reed who used to be Ned's Bezzy mate and...
He's a total
yeah,
wizardy
yeah.
badass.
And it's possibly the only one who knows who Jon's real dad is.
Who's Jan?
Jon Snow.
Oh, Jan.
Jan.
Jan Snow.
Jan Snow.
Jon Snow.
He who knows nothing.
Yeah. Have you seen the picture of him? And this is a conspiracy theory of Game of Thrones itself. The size of him against Brienne of Tarth and what's her name, Thinky Stark.
I saw that one.
And they're both huge. I mean, obviously Brienne's huge, like taller, but
She's like 6'6".
yeah, Rob.
7.
Rob. John stood next to us. He's just tiny. He's like must be 5'9", if that.
I think he's 5'8".
Wow.
I think I saw controversy
tall's
about this
Sansa?
on BuzzFeed or something. 5'10".
She's
5'11"?
taller than him. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Little
But
Jon Snow.
it's just amazing what you can do with camera angle, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but they've never met.
No, but you think of them. You
What?
think of him as
But
big.
Brienne of Tarth and Jon Snow have never
Oh,
met.
right, yeah. I was like, what? They've never met? Jeez, I've drunk way too many beers for this.
Yeah, it was a photoshopped picture. They never met each other.
The whole series was
Yeah.
Photoshop.
If you don't see each other on the Game of Thrones, like in the real story, you don't get to meet in real life.
Wow.
It's
that's
such a
harsh.
shame they didn't have the guy who's now playing the Mountain all the way through it, really. He's
Uh,
really spot on, isn't he?
played by a different
Yeah.
actor in season
How
1.
tall is he, though? Because is he that much bigger than Brienne of Tarth? He's meant to be like 8 foot tall in the
Yeah.
book.
I think he's the biggest dude on set. So, like,
He should be.
7 foot probably. When they, he's the Hulk and they shoot him up. Looks even bigger.
He is pretty monstrous. The thing that makes me wonder about stuff, like, not even theories of Game of Thrones, just... Like, if you got a massive dude like that, and you covered him in metal plate, it'd break the horse's back. Especially if they've got loads of armour on. You'd have to have one fucking monster of a horse to
You
carry
would,
someone
yeah.
like that.
You can get big horses.
Yeah, they're fucking vicious as well, war horses, aren't they? Like,
Yeah.
that'd be pretty fucking scary as fuck, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm alright for that, really.
What are the conspiracy theories we've got?
The one that there might be spoilers. A dragon underneath Winterfell, maybe, or some form of ice dragon.
I
in
thought
the
ice
wall.
dragon in the wall. Like, I thought of that a while ago, and then Roseanne said it had. Roseanne, who's read the books and knows more than I do, that people have thought of that before.
It's been mooted.
And the Ice Dragon is definitely set in A Song of Ice and Fire, isn't it?
The Ice Dragon, the book that George R. R. Martin released years before he did Game of Thrones, but it's just been re-released this year. It's got Ice Dragon
I
in
think
it.
the whole wall is an ice dragon.
I don't know.
And it just comes live, and it's just that big.
What?
I'm
Right,
sure
yeah.
one of the White Walker theory things that was like watching was saying about how that maybe like we think of them as like the aggressors, but like maybe they're not, like, you know.
It's the other way around.
Yeah, like, you know, we've magically penned them. Well, I say we, but just because I'm a human, I guess I'm automatically opposed to against them.
Team Human.
Yeah, Team Human, Team First Man.
Fist of the First Man. I like that as a place. Well, you don't know, as we were saying before, what the planet's like in its geography or whatnot. We just have a little slice, and there's no reason to say that most of the planet isn't full of White Walkers and ice, and they're the small bit.
Could be.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we're just not seeing their domain. That'd be kind of cool.
It's a bit fucked. I hate that.
I can't like it.
White Walkers.
They are pretty scary.
They are the cool.
I have no idea what's going on with them.
No.
They've been. I really liked. There's been moments with them that have kind of created the fact that they are more than just mindless killing monsters.
Well, the
which I think
ceremony
is
with the
pretty
child again. It was very much like it was a ceremony.
This is the thing that gets me as well with it. That if there's intelligence like that, some are good and some are bad. That's got to be the way of it. Like,
well, Cold Hands, a character who also hasn't been in the show, might have been a White Walker.
who I saw a theory about in preparing for this that maybe he's Benjen Stark.
I've heard that one.
I don't think so. I think he's older than that. I think
Yeah.
it all fits. I think he could easily be somebody who's a member of the Night's Watch, but I don't think he's Benjen Stark.
What's the deal with this guy?
Cold Hands.
I assume he has cold hands.
He's dead, and
Right.
therefore his hands are cold. But he basically...
Or he's very ill.
Okay.
Basically, when... In the TV show, when Sam and... What's her name? The wildling girl? No.
That's her name in the books.
Sam Altali and the wildling girl with the
right.
baby. What the hell's her name?
Oh, Cassandra from Skins.
Oh god. Anyway, when they go to leave Crasters, I think it is.
Yeah.
When they go to run away and he kills the White Walker and everything. Like, originally what happens is they sort of get rescued by Cold Hands,
Right.
who's a dead dude apparently, and from all the stuff that's extrapolated from it, you can safely assume he probably was a member of the Night's Watch at some point, but now he's undead. But he seems to be coaching the head.
Yeah.
Like, he's not like a mindless zombie,
cool.
and he doesn't appear to be a White Walker. He's just
something.
Yeah.
but he doesn't breathe, and his hands are black.
Right.
From being dead for so long. He takes them back to the wall, helps them out, helps them out, and then wants them to go into this castle. He takes them to some gate to a little castle or whatever through the wall. Sneaky as fuck. Knows his shit about the wall as well.
Yeah.
But sneaks them in to basically tell Bran and Jojen and that, hey, there's a dude down there who wants to help you guys find the Three-Eyed Raven. So he was kind of sent by the Three-Eyed Raven to help them get to him. But they totally haven't bothered putting any of that in.
No.
You can kind of see why. It's an extra character that doesn't there's just extra mystery.
Plus
but it's a fucking cool mystery.
It makes you wonder, are the Children of the Forest sort of really actually in some way down with the whites, down with the White Walkers? Are they like in cahoots somehow? Cahoots, I say. Yeah.
Maybe. I think it's like layers and layers of bigger pictures, isn't it? It's like, because especially because the focus of it's on the throne, I guess. Not like of the whole thing, obviously there's lots of people they focus on, but the idea of the throne is the main focus, when in reality there's perhaps bigger things than kings and queens in play in the world at the moment.
Yeah,
like.
that's the big thing, isn't it? The Targaryen girl, she's got, Daenerys. She's got her dragons and she's got a kick-ass army and she's at their gates almost, isn't she?
Well, no, not really. She's just fucking sunken in marine, hasn't she? She's just.
Fair enough, yeah.
She's not. She needs to go home.
She's
She's fucking like,
Well, she had
my
a
people
moment.
in my city.
The
You're like,
Unsullied.
bitch, you got a country.
Yeah.
Get back there and sort shit out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
maybe
doing
she-
very well, that's to see.
I also think though she's being stupid because realistically, if you don't like Sabine, you're basically saying you want to rule the world. If she wants to keep hold of Marine and the slaver cities and ban slavery and then go back to Westeros, if she wants the whole world, well, fine, go to Westeros, sort that out, and then come back with a fuck ton of knights from all the houses because they will do as they're told.
Actually, what is her deal? Why is she going after
She's
all
a
these other
14-year-old girl.
No,
In
but
the
why-
book,
why
that's her
isn't-
deal.
Yeah.
Why isn't she just going straight to Westeros? Why did she go and do all
Because she
the
got
rest
told
of
by
Westeros?
Quaithe, didn't she?
To
go west, you must go east. To go north, you must go south. You must pass by the shadows and enter the blah blah blah.
That's like probably metaphors and
Everyone
stuff.
loves prophecies, though, man. They
Yeah.
all love prophecies. Well, she's done fuck all for
She
quite a
has
while
done
now,
fuck
so it's
all.
possible for her to carry on.
I
doing
really
fuck
didn't
all.
like the fighting scene with the Unsullied in the city where they broke rank instantly and threw away their weapons at the first opportunity to look Hollywood cool. I hate it. It's like,
Yeah,
you're in a phalanx for a reason, guys.
Well, they were caught in the corridor.
Yeah,
It's tricky.
It's a
Yeah, but it's a
really
really-
good way to
It's a
place
good
to be
environment
caught
for them.
in a phalanx.
That was a bit weak.
I thought as soon as they went into that room, I thought hot oil from the windows, which were high up. Just hot oil poured in, all dead, sorted. But no,
Your castle will be impregnable.
yeah, it'd be deep fried.
You can't impregnate a castle.
So where do you think you get baby castles from?
Oh, okay. Touche.
No, impregnate castles.
Is there any other standout theories? I mean, we could do the old fucking who's John's parents, but
Ah, yawn. Who's
Yeah.
John's parents?
it's kind of the big one, I guess. But that's so. Do you know what I want to know more about? I've been trying to. It was one of the things I was looking for, although I probably basically just need to do a bit of a Reddit troll for it. There's some interesting ones on the Meisters, because there is some very interesting stuff about Meisters, not as individuals, but as a thing.
That they
Because
might
they
have,
were all.
stuff they might have done, yeah. There's theories.
And also, when you think of the politics of the players in Game of Thrones, and yet Meisters remove the surnames or whatever, so you don't know necessarily which. Not instantaneously, and especially as the reader, you don't necessarily know which house they're from originally. Who was their liege lord? Where do their alliances lie?
Originally.
So who's got Meisters that are working for their enemies that we're not necessarily aware of as readers? Because it must be happening.
What is a Meister?
A Meister, like Meister Pycelle, and they're those learned men. Meister Amor. They're like
Don't know.
They look like monks, but they're science
the
monks.
blind monk of the wall. Who's
Right, yeah.
well, so every house has one of those monks. Not necessarily a blind one,
He's
but they
dead
have
now.
they have monks that they're effectively monks. They're learned men. They have different. They have like a chain,
Yeah.
and their different links are made of different metals to represent the different areas of study that they've completed.
Oh, cool.
So, like, some of them are like medicine and astronomy and fucking
Yeah.
Birds.
magic, birds. So then those people, when they get trained to be Meisters, they drop their surnames and then they get sent from the Citadel, which is like the centre of the Meisters,
Yeah.
to all the houses. So every house and major lord gets a Meister to help
Right.
record history, to send messages.
Do doctory stuff.
That's a big thing because some of the lords in some of the places apparently don't read so well. And so their Meisters are writing their letters and reading out the letters that they receive, and you're like, well, is that true?
Yeah.
Is any of the information that they're getting actually accurate?
It's like Hitler's secretary, in many ways, was more powerful than he was.
What? Why?
Because he
What did
controlled
they do?
what got to Hitler.
Did they do anything though with
I
it?
don't know, it's just something I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard that before, though. I think it's true, though. You control the meetings.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It was something I've not, as I said, I was trying to like read because there's definitely is some stuff like what Pycelle, the one, what's it called?
The Dark Maester.
No, Qyburn's the Dark Maester.
Oh, yeah,
Pycelle's the. But he said he's basically a Lannister, isn't he?
Pycelle?
Yeah, he says in the series at one point, he says that thing that to Tywin that he's
Which one's Pycelle?
the old dude who Cersei hates in King's Landing.
And he's pretending to be like more fucked up than he actually is.
Oh yeah.
With the wispy beard that they cut a bit of his beard off, didn't they? But he had basically said to Tywin at some point a season or two ago about being from a place in the Lannister lands and him being a Lannister. You know, he's always supported their family, but obviously you don't necessarily see that straight off the bat because he's not got the surname that's equivalent to those lands. Interesting.
Well, they sound like the things from Dune. What were they called? Mentats.
Dude, there's a lot of similarities between Dune and Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
The Mentats.
The Mentats were. Have you seen the film Dune? It was Grigori, Yori, the guy with the diamond on his head. He was a Mentat. No, he wasn't.
He wasn't.
Oh, God, he wasn't a bloody Mentat. I'm such an idiot. The guy with the blue lip, with the red stained lips. He was a Mentat, and you know, in the film, you have him look at a light, like flashes on his face, and then he communicates a message, basically, like as if it was Morse code. And that's exactly what they were. They were thinking people, like machine people, trained. They were stripped of, you know, they were stripped of all their familial. No, they were human. They were just very logical, and you have assassin mentats and stuff like that, where they came to replace computers, and they're kind of similar to the Meisters in that they filled that role in that society of being educated.
Yeah. It's sort of like a religious person, but...
Exactly, they were exactly that, yeah.
Oh, that's a great theory to end on. The Peter Baelish one.
About the conspiracy of the North?
Well, there's all sorts of conspiracy theories about Peter Baelish, but just a really simple thing that I really loved was that not only is he trying to fool men, but he's trying to fool the gods because of acts that he's sort of orchestrated and instigated that happen in front of the weirwood trees in the Godswood.
Right.
That he's never had a part of. So he's like ensured that some things have occurred without him having to be there, if you know what I mean. So even if, like for instance, can we talk about that? No, not really. Okay, but even so, that still, yeah, like, because they, you know, we kind of know that kind of the gods are effectively real. Maybe they're not gods in deity sense, but there must be these spirits that are doing some shit. I feel like that about the drowned man. That's definitely a god of some description. But either way, yeah. I kind of, whether it's true or false, I just think that's kind of cool, though. The idea that a human would try and not only trick his fellow men, but do his trick so good that he's tricking the gods themselves. Like, you're like, that's fucking badass. It's a really interesting thing in general, like the idea of pulling so many weird theories out of a book series, because it's just. But he's left so many little breadcrumb trails through the books of information that you would never really consider or link together, but then eventually, you know, people have stacked the facts up, haven't they?
Patterns arise.
Yeah.
How much of it's coincidental and how much of it's planned, though? How much of a genius is George R. Martin?
It's pronounced
Genius.
R.R.
Grr Martin, that's easier. Grr Martin.
Grr Martin.
He's a natural pirate.
Yeah, I can't wait for the next book to see how many new mysteries he throws in our face while not answering a single one of the old mysteries. He'll just perpetuate them. Yeah, he'll murder people, but It'll probably be someone new who you'll totally think is amazing, and then he'll murder them. Yeah, mental theories that we've barely touched on. But if you're into it, honestly, there's a fuck ton of them out there.
Yeah.
We will leave links for a whole load of different people's theory pages and sites and stuff. But yeah, have a look.
Yeah, have a breeze through.
Is Bruce Bolton a skin-stealing immortal?
Of course he is.
Mm.
The Bolton theory. Oh, we'll put them in the links. Well, yeah, that's more or less everything you'll ever need to know about Game of Thrones. So we'll come back next week. If you have any ideas about anything in particular, why don't you give us an email at thingswelike@thepeoplesbeard.co.uk. And we're also on Twitter at _things_we_like. I think that's capital T. We're on iTunes and YouTube and just a brace of formats.
Find us before we find you.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Because we are literally coming for you, like some kind of...
Angry sparrow.
I was thinking more sort of a terrorist squad.
Like a fucking honey badger. We're serious.
Christ almighty.
Um,
Yeah. Let's go and do all those other things we were going to do. Oh, and come back next week for...
Stuff
Sucks.
I'd floated an idea.
Well, what were you thinking?
I said alcohol, didn't I?
Alcohol.
But I
Interesting
kind of got a
idea.
bit poo-pooed because alcohol's awesome.
That's an interesting idea. We might come back next week and tell you why alcohol sucks. Or doesn't. We'll work it out.
We will have an argument and that'll suck, and therefore we'll have fulfilled the remit of the show.
Cool. I've been Jim.
I am Alf.
I'm Andy.
And... goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thrones, yeah.
Valar morghulis.
Fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones.
Dun, 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 dun.